'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby, put the record on. Baby, put the record.
Good morning, sports fans, and the teams didn't want to wait for us. They are underway here at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2. Coming to you from Beenleigh in Queensland. Thanks to the City of Logan for their support. This morning we have Lounge Lizards out of Brisbane in the red jerseys versus Meadowbank Bus Stop out of Sydney. And there's the first shot from Lounge Lizards, looking to put the first one on the board. And it's just out of reach. Simon Talbot here, joined by Avril Tam. How are you, Avril?
Beautiful morning to be in beautiful Beenleigh, Simon. And the home state advantage here for the Lounge Lizards, unable to convert that one. That was a good look there by the long shot, just an unproportionate bobble last second.
So Calvin Lau to bring it back into play. Meadowbank running with a horizontal stack. Deep cuts going first. Disc centred to Maehr. Deep in their own end zone here. Lounge Lizards closing in on defence. Young with a fumble, and that's going to give Lounge Lizards the second go at offence right on their goal line. Seb Brown to pick it up. Easy dish pass to an unguarded Oakley Mullen. Lounge Lizards go up 1-0. And it is warm here today. We're probably up to 30 already. It is humid. We're doing all right in the tent here, but we spoke about the home state advantage for Lounge Lizards. The Brisbane locals just up about 45 minutes up the road here from Beenleigh, so they'll be used to these conditions.
Yeah, certainly the stuffiness, I think, taking some of the other teams off guard, particularly the ones coming from New South Wales or Victoria or further south. And Meadowbank Bus Stop, their team from the lower north shore of Sydney, so a little bit warmer than they're used to this game.
They've gone straight to the water bottles after that point, so hydration will be a big one. But so that was the first point, and it was an offensive hole for Lounge Lizards. So just putting goals on the board early is important at a tournament like this.
It's a big tournament as well, Simon. 26 teams in total from all across Australia. So huge event here. And
I think we've just about got all states and territories represented, don't we? I think we've got Victoria, Tasmania, Queensland, WA, South Australia.
Just ACT, I think, missing from this weekend.
Right.
A couple of teams have elected to play at New Zealand Ultimate Mixed Championships Div 2, which is the same weekend. Got plenty of action on LTTV. Make sure you stay tuned.
Cheng to field for the ball deep in their own end zone. Graham with a horizontal stack this time. Yu goes up the line, puts it just well out of the reach of Graham. And Lounge Lizards with the chance for the first break.
It's good movement and structure, just the execution of that throw wasn't quite on.
Brown, about 30 from goal. Very deep stack. He's put too much float on that swing pass. And give a Meadowbank great field position. They're about 40 from goal, about 35 from goal, centre field. Emily Graham taking the time. Giving plenty of verbal instructions. Looking for a long shot. Backfield well covered there. Chen taking his time, looking at all the options. Graham getting busy in that handler space. Again, just eyes up at the end zone. She wants to get it downfield. Chen. Yu. Option there on the high side, gets a beautiful low release, backhand out. Conway. In short, it's the other Conway. Plenty of activity on the goal line. And Kieran Wynn finds a space at the front for the nice little 2-metre pass for goal.
Very nice work by Meadowbank after they had a couple of miscues early. Eventually managed to settle and have some composure and just work the unders quite smoothly.
Much more patient that time. And I think it's early days yet, but I think the majority of Meadowbank's going to have Lounge Lizards for just sheer pace here. So, but they're not always just going to win foot races to the disc. They'll need to try and draw Lounge Lizards' defence away because Lounge Lizards, they're a very experienced team. A lot of them have played together for a long time, so they've got a very good chemistry on defence. So it's going to have to be just outworking them. It's going to be Meadowbank's mantra here. Just got to outwork them.
Yeah, early days, Cheng and Graham, plenty of hard work done in the backfield there. Very reliable in the dump space and then attacking well through lots of different cycling cutters. So I like the movement and I like the strat by Meadowbank. I think this is their first time at Nationals, so good to see some new faces and fresh teams on display.
1-1 the score. Just an offensive hold each. Mullen, 50 from goal, sends the backhand huck out into the lap of Jack Allen. He's about 10 from goal, centre field, looking back, finds Brown. Brown looking to the high side, not many options moving there, resets to Allen. A lot of options coming towards him. Well, everyone's well covered by the defender here. Allen recycles again, looking for that high side. Not many cuts going there. Finally, Mullen from the front of the stack obliges, fires it in through the middle, and Lounge Lizards put their second on the board.
Very smooth work from the Lizard Loungers there. They make pretty good use of the break side as well. You can see them faking on that around, and then they throw this inside break. That's beautifully done, and Mullen also looks at that inside channel as well. So getting the disc to the break side, very advantageous when the defenders are out of position for the continuation. So Loungers is making very good use of that space.
We saw Chris Brown and Jack Allen always, their first look is to try and hit that break side, but there's just no cutters moving that way early in the stall count, so that might be something they chat about on the sideline, making sure they're providing cutting options both sides of the stack, really open up that attacking space. So 2-1 the score. Of course, both these teams in Pool E, and with the odd 26 teams, it's a bit of an odd number in terms of format, so these two teams will both be playing one more pool game than everyone else at the tournament. Sorry, all the other pools at the tournament. So pools A to D have 5 teams, this one has 6 teams, so an extra 80, 90 minutes of activity in this weather will definitely become a factor once we get to the knockout phases. Graham.
Start off in a horizontal set, Meadowbank.
Zone defense here from Lounge Lizards, but Meadowbank's finding their way through it pretty easily. They're already halfway to goal. Fung.
So they're just trying to force the disc to sideline, but the mark on the disc is not far around enough, so they get out on the break side.
Looks like a bit of a forced middle, actually, or forced return there. Just trying to get the disc to the centre of the field and trying to get blocks by forcing throws to go through the gaps, but the marker's just giving too much room to the throwers to be able to move it laterally. Meadowbank also have a couple of players sitting very, very, very deep, basically back corners of the end zone.
There needs to be a bit of movement with those players that can draw some defenders and get their attention.
And you can see huge space in the middle of the field. They've finally put an attacker there. Conway. Graham reaching out. Big shot over to Tsang. Hopefully that'll open up some space now. Great bid there by Chock. On the doorstep now. Cutters are spread out everywhere, but it looks like they're just going to try and punch us in on the first line. Graham fires out to that back corner now to an unguarded attacker who spent that entire point camped at that back corner for that shot there. I think that was Tiana Jarman at the back there.
I'm not 100% sure what they were doing with the zone. It seemed to allow them to go side to side, but then it's like a forced middle at points. But well spied up by Graham to shoot that one through a couple of defenders. To hit Jarman in the end zone.
I think the intention was to try and prevent that lateral movement, but there was just not enough pressure around the disc, and Meadowbank were happy to lose yards in order to get it to high side. And I think just after a certain point, if your front row of your zone defence is running, 5 or 6 30-metre shuttle runs in this kind of heat, those gaps are going to open up.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more clarity from the Land Lizard zone there. I think it was a little confusing, and I don't think they were all quite on the same page. So if they can at least get the goal, everyone on the same line in terms of what the goal is, and then execute that a little bit more with a little bit more accuracy.
So 2-2 the score.
Nice high floaty one.
Arnold Young putting it into play, giving him about 50 metres of field space to defend. All cutters well covered here, so Mullen has to look backwards. Shot to Burnside. Inboard to Bahaja. Bow. Lots of cutters hanging to that near side. Puts a nice, beautifully weighted throw into the lap of Jody Brown for Lounge Lizard's third goal.
Very efficient after being held up early. It was a decent float on that pull, which allowed the defenders to set up well, put pressure on that first pass. But as the disc moved down, they got into their flow and just made use of this open side.
When they had the static stack at the start of the point where it's like, all right, all cutters were going to start in the middle. Meadowbank had everything well covered. But then once Lounge Lizards started getting into that flow, you could see no one was really ever in the stack as such. They all just kept returning to that space. And because the cutters were constantly moving, it meant Meadowbank defenders couldn't settle. And then eventually those free cutters were going to open up. So, of course, Lounge Lizards has been around as a team for almost longer than I can remember. I definitely remember playing against this team in about 2008, roughly. So, obviously players have come and gone over the years, but playing several years together is still undefeated as a way to become a good team. You can do all the drills, all the scrimmages you want at training, but reps on the field together is still the best way to do it.
Reps at tournaments particularly, and I think Div 2 is an interesting tournament. We've got a real range of teams, as we said, 26 here, so it's a huge tournament. But you have like the well-established clubs who've been, mix of experienced players being on some rookies and some youth, and then you've got some new teams or teams that are in their second or third year playing together. So it's a real wide range, but it's great to see the fact that this division is growing, and a lot of the youth moving up as well.
I've been on record several times saying that Division 2 tournaments are significantly harder to win than Division 1 tournaments because you've only got 3 days, you've got just as much game time crammed into 3 days, and so much uncertainty in pool play. Graham, all the cards heading away from her. Finally getting a nice easy undercut. Flora Yu getting plenty of touches on it so far today. Chen. Looking middle, everything's a bit crowded, so has to go short. Kieran win to Fung. Plenty of options on the high side, but Win holds on to it. Fung. And there we go, just that lateral movement, just keeping the Lounge Lizards defenders busy, not letting them be static. So I think that's what's going to end up being the battle here, Av, is that offensive flow. You don't want to ever let the defense settle.
For sure, and like you said, Meadowbank probably have one up on the leg speed here and that was certainly exhibited in this point. You see, they just keep cycling through and attacking that middle space, and also I think that quicker give-go movement, keeping the disc moving, making the defenders have to continue readjusting and on the back foot. That's going to be a key for Meadowbank to get a few more on the board.
And the downfield players for Meadowbank, they're really stretching the defence out, but they don't seem to be viable throwing options until they're at the end zone. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Langeles to start to, like, defenders marking those backfield ones, to maybe leave one or two of them and just provide an extra defender in that space closer to the disc to keep them a bit honest and maybe force a riskier shot over the top rather than just letting them recycle around the handle space all the time.
That's right, especially when you've got slightly less experienced players. They're more comfortable throwing those shorter options, right? So if that's the bigger threat or the high percentage play of where the disc is going to go, crowding that space and forcing them something they're less comfortable with might be a way to generate a block.
We've just seen a couple of turnovers so far, but no significant defensive pressure has caused them. They've just been simple errors early on, but it's been a while since we've seen one. So teams settled into the game now. Allen, left unguarded.
And they set up a bracket defence to try and deter any of those first planned looks. So I like that slight defensive adjustment. That does cause a turnover for Meadowbank.
Yeah, well spotted, Av. That was great defensive setup from Meadowbank to force that error. So opportunity for the first break score of the game here. Lau, his cutters are well away from him here, so someone's going to have to come towards him. Chappell. Big shot downfield to Huey. 5 metres from goal. He's looking backwards, wants to recycle. Wow. Plenty of options on the low side, but the long arms of Chris Brown on the mark are making that difficult. And there's the run-through block from Ash Bahajar. Allen. Lots of cars heading away from him. That shot is too low, too flat, and sails out of bounds. A little bit of impatience there, I think.
I don't think that even ever comes in, Simon, so it might be a fair distance in terms of where the disc is brought back into play.
Yeah, we can see the Meadowbank players pointing somewhere on the sideline, but it'll be at probably about the brick markish, so maybe about 45 from goal. So here we go, Meadowbank. The stack's set up closer to the disc now, so that's going to provide them with a bit more than just the under options.
Oh, what a bid.
Allen's unleashed that one, but he's put it over the head of Emma Adora, who had to turn over both shoulders to try and find that one.
Feels like the game's turned up a notch, Simon. Very nice defensive effort there. You could see the loungers, it's just baiting. So they set up with, on the back shoulder of the Meadowbank offense, and Lizard just gets completely horizontal in the air, almost gets a hand to it, but Meadowbank just sensing some pressure, just wanting to get the disc out of there.
Cutter said there's an unguarded cutter very deep here, but throwers aren't looking up at the moment. Burnside. Angels wanted to move this disc quickly, but the cutters just aren't coming towards them, and Meadowbank's got everything well covered at the moment. So the handlers are just having to work it around. That one's nearly out of the reach of Jody Brown. Plenty of pressure there on Chris Brown as he reels that one in. Bahaja, halfway to goal, puts a long shot up, big, lopey, fluty throw. There's 2-on-1 here. That's floating away, it's under, it's left, it's right. And Mel Dodd reels it in. Tricky one, but I think Bahaja just saw I've got a couple of defenders with advantage here. It's a 2-on-1. I think I could just pop it up there and someone will come down with it.
Yeah, just trusting the receivers. They also had the height mismatch as well and some extra support coming in. You ended up with 4 of them in the end zone. So Lizards do well. That was actually a hold, Simon. Multi-turnover point there. Yeah. So pressure has amped up from both defences now, sensing that, hey, someone's going to try and break away this game. Still 4-3, no breaks yet.
So about 20 minutes in, and we've got 80-minute caps this weekend. So It's about this time you'd want to start to be getting, like, putting enough pressure on, because you'd want to get at least one break up by about half an hour into the game just to have control of it. If you're still trading by that point, you're really going to have to start, I guess, changing your looks, changing things up. And as soon as you start having to change from plan A, that's when teams get uncomfortable. So working hard now on defense, taking away easy looks and forcing those risky shots is what you want to be doing right now.
Yeah, plus I think as the game drags on and the heat intensifies towards the middle of the day, that's when your energy really saps and your ability to go for those big kind of defensive plays does reduce.
Deep look being set up here, but
pick in the stack.
Yeah.
So the Meadowbank cutters are in a clump, not a lot of space, not surprised that pick did happen.
I'm enjoying this German and Conway matchup. I think they're going to want to try and get the goal looking for even Conway in the end, but Conway comes under. All cutters heading away from him. He'll have to recycle, have to reset. He has another look upfield. He's put a very respectable one up. Plenty of bodies underneath it. And Kyle Hunter just sticks the juke in and says, "Not today, son," and swats it away.
A couple of long shots gone in that direction, Simon, and a lot of them kind of weaving in and out in terms of shape. So the thrower's not quite getting the their throwing mechanics right to, you see that slight expend as it comes back out towards the sideline.
They're putting way too much air on it. There's no wind to speak of at the moment. Like a very, very, very slight left to right breeze, but nothing that's going to affect our any throws here. Langeles has taken the shot the other way this time. Out in front of German. Nice, flat, tidier look. And there's our first break of the game. As Lounge Lizards go end to end.
Yeah, beautiful way to use the long game. I feel like both teams have been wanting that long option, but not always precise. But Lounge Lizards, that's 2 long options in a row that's worked out, so they are getting their hucking game going. And Gurman, like you said, had a strong defensive matchup. I think he might have been against Chen, and then in the end punishes it the other way. So Lounge Lizards, they do get the first break.
And so it was a nice flat shot out in front of German. So it wasn't, he didn't put it over his head. German was coming down the near sideline, and so the shot's just gone to the middle of the end zone. It's a bit of a here, go fetch this kind of look, rather than trying to hit him on the run, which is very, very difficult to do. So So 5-3 of the score.
Very timely break, just as we asked for, Simon, before the half-hour mark.
Now, Meadowbank will want to try and fire back pretty quickly. I think we'll probably see them set up another long shot, depending on where this pool lands. If it lands live in play.
And Emily Graham not out, or was it offside called?
Yep. That was one of the more blatant offsides I've seen in some time. I think sometimes teams forget that there's game advisors here who are providing those clear signals, and they'll take the clear brick. So horizontal stack here. Who's that matchup we can see in the middle? There's those 2 mids. There'll be an under, there'll be a deep. And there we go, 2 deep options, and there's the throw. Plenty of numbers underneath it, and that's a fantastic second effort grab there.
What a one-handed lefty pluck out of the air. There was 2v2 in the end zone, and the 2 female matching players from Meadowbank, they just managed to get goal side and sneak in for a snatch goal. And both teams now getting up on their big game. That huck coming from QQ Ma, and just read a little bit better. I think just perhaps fading a little bit to the right in the end there. And
Harmony Leong was the one who came down with the goal. So we saw, I think Jodie Brown got in there, but went just a fraction too early. And it was great for Leong just to sort of wait underneath it. She didn't bite into what the defender was going to do. Like, I'm going to hold this position. I'm going to go for it when I'm ready. Didn't get intimidated by what was happening around her. So done very well there. But that was, that was a bit of a set play there. So I think, as you spotted, Ma was the initial cutter. tall fella, shaped up to go deep. It meant the Lounge Lizards players all sort of jumped back a little bit. Then he got the under, and it just unleashed their women matching cutters just to go straight to the end zone. The huck wasn't pretty. We've seen a couple of throws, like Meadowbank are putting just way too much air underneath their throws. They've got to put them flat and direct.
Yeah.
Take advantage of their pace and not let the defense have a go at them.
So Meadowbank, they have to work hard to try and earn this break back, but they sneak one through the cup, and so they've opted for a zone, and it does turn.
German just putting a little too much on that ahead of Brown, trying to gain too many cheap yards. Big hammer look, that's going to flow. A couple of bodies underneath it, and that's knocked down by Jane Huggins.
Couple of wiggles on that disc as it was going up and down.
Yep.
So Meadowbank going for the high risk, high reward option, but no rewards that time around.
Brown.
Looks like a forced middle zone here, applied by the Meadowbank defense. Almost a bid there by Chen.
Lance was halfway to goal now. Plenty of attacking options coming through the middle of that cup, and that's out of bounds, off, foot on the line. Just a bit of lack of field awareness there.
So easy let off. Can Meadowbank this time punish the turnover? So we've saved ground to play the D-line this time. Trying to get a bit of offensive firepower.
They've got a one-on-one matchup very deep here, but it's going to be a while before they can take a proper shot at that one. Conway. To Beck Conway. Cheng. Rushing himself, Eden Conway. Has to go long to get that one. Just over 20 from goal. Oh, and this fantastic second effort there from Cheng as he slips but recovers to take the catch, keep the offense alive, and that loose throw just goes straight into the hand of Gurman.
Receiver just turned as that who threw it.
Jar Hunter shapes up, stands it looking for Brown, wins that front position, and foul called. Accepted straight away. I think Kieran to win had no choice there but to jump early, and I think he's just gone into the back of Sebastian Brown there, so accepted straight away, so that'll be Brown's disc from the goal line, but he's got the numbers advantage. He's got an unguarded Kerwin just behind him, and then so on the restart, this is almost going to be a certain goal. Oh, Brown takes his time, waits for all the defenders to get to the end zone, but puts it out to the advantage of Gurman and ends with the goal. So
Meadowbank, they had their opportunities, a couple of bites at the cherry, but rush of blood to the head, I think, on the first attempt, and then the second one was just unfortunate. They had a good chain of flow through that open side, but through it just as the receiver turned on that, ended up in a turnover, and Lances is not, wary to the defense setting up. They just wanted to get things going quickly, and their long game has been on song, really.
The call to play is with timeouts being called by, I think it was called by Meadowbank there.
Yep.
I don't like the call to play zone there, Av. I think they just sort of did it because it's like, let's just change it up for the sake of changing it up. Yes, they got a couple of turns out of it, but I think that Lance Lizards kind of did it to themselves. They had one that was just a bit of a loose throw. They had one where, they've landed on the line. So I wouldn't say that defensive pressure caused those turns. No. And even then, as you said, they didn't really take much advantage of those options. So I think Match was getting it done for them.
I agree.
Even though they hadn't generated many blocks out of it yet, they were coming. They're on the way.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to build a little bit, right? Like, yes, we know it's early days and the upper break, but sometimes you got to play to your strengths. We talked about the speed, and they've, if they just bait that step in front, they're probably more likely to get a block than try to force the multiple throws and force them, to go side to side. So you got to think of what your team's strengths are, what the other team's strengths are, and try to work out something that's more in your favour.
And you could see the body language of the Lizards when they come up against the zone. They're so comfortable playing zone. They've just gone, oh, thank God. I don't have to try and outrun
my one-on-one matchup.
And they just got too comfortable with it, which ended up in those two turns. But I think if Meadowbank come up with a zone again, I think we would see Langelis just kind of waltz their way through it and score quite comfortably. So, like, I don't know, as an option, yes, you want to change up your defence, but I would have waited till later in the game to do that one.
Yeah, well, they did put on a bit of a bracket setup earlier, so it is still matched, but they just stopped that first look by the Loungers because they recognised they were getting power position and just going for the huck. So I think that variation of defence actually worked out quite well with them from one of the previous points. So that variation, perhaps just clogging up the lanes as a setup play and then going hard match, that could be the way that they try to earn back this break.
Yeah. And, of course, we mentioned their long throws, like way too much air under them, but you're not going to be able to fix that right now.
Yeah. That's an off-season, next season thing.
And I think the adjustment you'd probably make is wait till you're about halfway before you take those shots rather than taking them from 30 out, because then that allows your defence to get numbers underneath it. So Langelis is with the ball. They're up 6-4. Plenty of hang time on that one. Good field position too, so... About 55 to goal. We've got a bracket defence here from Lange Lizards. Wow. Cutter's heading away from him. He's put the long shot up, looking for Adora.
Ooh.
Go catch those. Don't worry about where your feet are.
Gets a bit of dust in her face for her troubles as well. I mean, the cut wasn't bad. There wasn't much space. There's a very small channel that she had to work with. As you said, just trying to milk it for a bit too much.
Just got to go meet those ones in the air, get possession. But nice flatter direct shot.
Yeah, the execution on that throw was much better.
Adam Bowe. Ellis. Huge gainers on these first couple. Burnside gets up for the second look. He's put that just out of reach, and Allen's going to have to go low and kind of save that one. He's just going to pause. He's going to... No, that's what I think. I think it's okay to pause and just have a think about what happened with the contact there, but I think because Allen had gone into his defender, his defender's got a right to be there, so Meadowbank with a second look. Meadowbank sideline urging their players to stretch out the defence. Everyone's very close and crowded here. Huey. Motion for cutters to come towards him. There's a bit of a disconnect between handlers and cutters here at the moment.
All the cutters are very close to the handlers. They need to spread out to make themselves some space.
Chen puts a shot up to an unguarded. Where's Adora? He's got plenty of time underneath it. And I think Langelis just lost sight of that one. I think they were getting a bit too cheeky with their switches and brackets and just lost sight of that cutter. But brilliant from Wes Adora just to identify that space. And you see him just bottom left of screen, just goes, I'm just going to start jogging. No one's really following me, so I'm just going to keep going. Yeah,
you saw the defender there just got caught watching the disc and just held on too long. Adora recognising, hey, like, defender's occupied. They're not realising where I am. Just sneaks deep. And nice power position and huck. So both teams making use of these relatively still conditions, going for the long game. And the last couple by Meadowbank, much more accurate on the execution with a more predictable flight path. So well done to Adora for converting that one.
But geez, their offense was a mess right before that. I think they got very lucky there.
Yeah, all their cutters were just all in a bit of a clump in the middle, and they didn't allow any space for those underlooks, which kind of meant that they were forced to go long, and Loungers just went, we're just going to cover this space here, clog it all up.
I think a couple of the handlers had different ideas. One would get it and start looking long and say, go long, and then someone else would get it and say, come under, come under. So I think the cutters were a bit like, well, what do you want?
I think the other thing is, it seems like a lot of the handlers are the more experienced players, which is fair enough. That's often what happens in these developing teams, right? But someone needs to take a bit more leadership in that downfield cutting space to either, hey, we're going to set a stack, let's set it here, or let's move this horizontal set, closer or further.
German had to pick that one up of his toes. He's gone, tries to get too many yards out of that one to Huggins, and Nguyen's gone to get the block. Meadowbank with a great opportunity here. Chang recognising, takes his time on the throw. Gets it over to you. Jarman. Conway. Graham's gone to the end zone. Conway puts the shot up, a hammer shot. Graham gets underneath it. And not only is it a break score, it's a hammer break score. Don't you love it?
Meadowbank having a blast here. Hammers, hucks, S-shape curves, throws. Just going, we're just going to play our game. Whatever happens, happens. And really nice passage of play. Really working hard to get on that open underside, as we said, using their speed. And Graham just cluey to her thrower and how those discs come out. Just protected that drop space, that landing, and made sure that, she had sealed out the defender behind her with her back there.
And Tiana Jarman, she's been the deep floater for Meadowbank this whole time, and then she came under on that one, and it just opened up that entire deep space because all the Los Angeles defense then collapsed in. Graham spotted that and thought, here's my chance. I'm going downfield. I'm getting my name on the other side of the score sheet.
2 breaks straight.
So 6 all the score. And about 35 in, so rolling with about the 3 minutes per point kind of pace of game you typically see at a national championship. So Meadowbank with the pull. This one will give him good field position. Hopefully that'll land in, but Chris Brown's just gone, I'll take the catch, and he's put it out of reach of Mullen, and here's a huge opportunity here for Meadowbank. Just under 20 from goal. They've set the stack up quite deep here, so Los Angeles will just need to cover the unders. Wow. To Chappell. Everyone very busy on offense here. He's got too many looks, but finally gets the inside break. There's a huge let out there. And Meadowbank celebrate that one. 2 breaks in a row to take a 7-6 lead.
And to take half as well, Simon. After looking very unlikely, they were down and out, like loungers were having a great time lounging in this brizzy heat. Meadowbank come up with an unlikely break and a second break as well. So just riding the ups and downs of a, young up-and-coming team here. They're on the rise to finish this first half.
You see, Joseph Chappell, he didn't have a lot of options. His hands were covered. It's a bit of a shaky forehand, this one, but he's gone for it and just found someone who's open who might have been in on the first contact of ground, if we look at it, but close enough. He's thrown the goal. And so, as the players take a halftime break, we'll take a halftime break as well. We'll be back in a few moments. Second half action about to get underway here at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2, coming to you live on Ulti TV for fans of Ultimate around Australia, Europe, New Zealand and the rest of the world. And we want to thank the City of Logan for their generous support in making this tournament happen. This is probably one of the best venues I've seen logistically for an Ultimate tournament here, Avril. We're set up here in a nice shaded grandstand. We can see every field from where we're sitting. Fantastic atmosphere. Simon Talbot here, joined by Avril Tam, as we see the second half get underway with this first pool play matchup between Meadowbank Bus Stop out of Sydney and L'Angeles out of Brisbane. Fung has to go long and wide to Graham, who gets up. Conway. Cutter's not really doing much at the moment. He goes long and wide. Finds the win, who puts a high one up, floating over, and great call there from Tiana Jarman to say, leave that one for me, I'm here, don't you worry about jumping high. I've got this one at belly height.
Very nicely done by Meadowbank. They finish the half with 2 breaks straight and then convert their offensive point here cleanly too. So Meadowbank riding a high at the moment. The young team out of the lower North Shore of New South Wales, as you said, great communication there on the reception. She said, look, I'm in the better position. Get out of my way. I got this one in the bag.
Great shot there. It's forehand breakthrough over the top from Eden Conway to find, it was Eugene Chen, I think, there. On that higher wing, his defender had just sort of sat deep waiting for that Harkin, so he's just sort of snuck across, said, hey, just if you want. And then, yeah, he's popped it up. Middle of the end zone, best place to send any kind of long shot.
I think with the Meadowbank offensive flow, it's looked better because the timing of the continuation cuts has been much better. So the receiver is ready to receive the disc as the person who's just caught it has looked up. So the timing makes the flow look a lot smoother.
Long high floaty pull, offside call.
1 offside each now.
And that is just such classic Ultimate, isn't it? If you're going to call it, we're going to call it. So Seb Brown, he'll take the brick.
So Lizards also on a horizontal set to start.
All first options well covered. Brown doesn't have a lot to work with. Head sideways to Huggins. Huggins take a long look downfield. Everything well covered by Meadowbank here.
Meadowbank's done well to push Lizards back. You can see them just on the shoulder, just showing enough position to deter those undershots.
Bahaja finds Hunter. Hunter to Gerben. He's got to look at the end zone. Everything's well covered. Goes inside to Brown. Brown puts a long shot up looking for Juan, and she's mistimed it. She copped a little connection there, but... And so, yeah.
Looks like it was an accepted foul, but no foul was actually called.
Well, Harmony Leong, she said, sorry, I've made contact with you, that's on me, but Anajuan's gone, well, I had a go at it and I've already dropped it, so she's happy to let that one go. So we see there. Yeah, she'd already put it down, copped a clip of the arm on the way through, so.
After the play had been made.
Yep, good recognition there to let that one go. Wow, he's put a little too much on that one, and so Brown had a look at it. They're really starting to push their throws now, Meadowbank. Long look here. He's put that out to the advantage of Tambun, who has in, out. No one signalled anything yet. German says you probably have foot on the line, so she runs it back. Everyone crowding her here. And Joseph Chappell says, look, if you just want a short option, I'm right here. I'm in the goal. And Meadowbank put that one in to extend their lead.
Jeez, what a high Meadowbank are riding.
Yeah.
Their tails lap energy up. You know, interestingly, as you see here, they've actually got mostly their male matching players in the backfield, and they've actually allowed their female matching players to go and get the disc in the deep zone, which is, you know, I guess a lot less common what you see in mixed ultimate, but I think the really wise thing about this is that the male matching players who are downfield, they are keeping their matchups accountable, right? So the Lounge Lizards male matching defensive players are not able to peel back and help out on those long options. So I think Meadowbank have really done well as a team and to that effect to isolate those female matching players in deep space, making sure that they don't have to compete with the taller defense of the male matching players of Lounge Lizards.
Ultimate's a game of territory. You need space to advance the disc, and Meadowbank are making creative use of this space. but hey, it's working for them.
High risk, high reward, and they've come up with the
That's
chockies, right? Like, it's working for them, so why not keep going?
We did mention before that Lounge Lizards to more effectively play D on a team that they're getting outdone by in pace. They really need to close those undercuts and force them to take those risks. And we saw a couple not come off early, but now they're really starting to get that ascendancy through taking those shots. Mullen's on the field, so we'll expect probably a deep set play here. Brown, Bo puts it long. Jody Brown for the goal, with a 20% effort spike on the disc there. But that's a point. That's an offensive point that Lounge Lizards have needed for some time. Just that clinical bang, bang, bang into the goal, just to, I guess, get their mojo back a little bit, get their rhythm back.
For sure, I think they didn't even need 10 seconds to score that goal. So nice clean hold to try to peg a point back. And this E pool, so as you said, there's 6 teams in this pool. Oblivion are the first seeds and Space second, then Lounge Lizards, Meadowbank, Extinction and Marlow Street. So Lounge Lizards and Meadowbank, they are in that 3-4 seed within that pool, which actually might be crucial because it's a top 3 seed, top 3 that go through in this pool to the pre-quarters, to the round of 16. So this might actually be quite a crucial game for both these teams.
I can just see on another field, Oblivion have finished up their first pool play game already against Marlow Street. So I think if you're a top seed, I think this weekend you want to get your games done as quick as possible. Like run up a big score, get them done.
Yeah.
Just so you're not wearing yourself out unnecessarily. So Lounge Lizards with the pool. Crucial point here from Meadowbank. If they change their approach to their offense, Lounge Lizards will be able to just pounce here. So they've set up a zone with that forced middle. So they're really going to try and force the disc to go through the middle of the field, force them to take a risk and hopefully clean up as it goes. So there's the shot. That's the one they wanted. And this Chock got across. That's the one they're trying to force. So Mullen, 20 from goal, puts the forehand huck looking for Dusty Chock. He's got the back of the line to contend with. He checks his feet. He looks up, and that is drifted out the back. So good zone set, good choice of zone here from Lounge Lizards. Let's see if Meadowbank have recognised what they need to do here. I can see what they're doing now. They're getting 2 cutters to draw the
deep.
Yep. And open up some space in the middle.
Yeah, but Chock is very sneaky here. You see he's doing lots of head checking, and the way that he's positioned his body, it's side on, so you can see behind and in front of him, and he can assess those threats coming in through the cup, and that causes a turnover already. So Meadowbank just not having the skills to work through the zone D.
Mullen with the second look. Looking at high side, but no movement there. Looks for the reset. Bahaja now looks to the high side, and great heads-up play there by Calvin Luau to get a hand to that one. He knew that's where their primary look was. He thought, if I'm in a good chance here to stick the juke out. And Meadowbank with another shot, but we haven't really seen him be able to advance against this zone so far this point. And there we go, Carvalho's put that one. Plenty of air underneath it. There's 2v2, plenty of numbers underneath it. Bahaja just gets up, and I think the Meadowbank cutters realise that we haven't got the height this guy's got. So we'll just hope for the best. But Lounge Lizards want to try and get some territory back quickly here. Gurman. And Mullen just got a bit too complacent there on the undercut. Adora sat just behind her, waiting for the throw to go up, and bang, comes through. Gets the clean block. So Meadowbank now have about 20 to goal. This time there's a match defense. I think Maehr went for the inside shot, but that was well read.
7th turnover in this point already, Simon.
German's starting to find another gear. Big gainer there to Jeroen, who's put that out, trying to get ahead of Higgins, who was absolutely motoring around, had meters on her defender.
They were off to the races, the Lizards, and you can see the fatigue now in both teams. Just being out on the park for this prolonged period. See who can maintain some composure and make some connections on offense, but time out called.
Yeah, I don't like that. I should have just kept going.
Yeah. I think Lizards probably needed the break more than Meadowbank did. Yeah.
So with end-to-end players, you try and play zone sometimes to conserve the energy, but we've seen play happen at both end zones. So every player on the field would have covered, roughly 180 to 240 metres of sprinting so far, and that's going to play to the advantage of Meadowbank before it plays to Lounge Lizards. So that's not a great call.
No, and not great field position either, right? They're, maybe 20 out from the defending end zone, maybe a bit less than that. So not good field position. They're probably the, faster and slightly fitter team who are able to push through. Just got beat up a height on a couple of times. The poor decisions going through those long options when they weren't really there. But as you say, for Meadowbank, the offense, they haven't quite unlocked this zone. So they need to try and get to work with a bit of movement in that underspace. The Poppers, trying to threaten the cup to move a little bit, just to open up a bit more space to get the disc moving.
I think they need a mid-range option. So they've got two cutters. They've got two receivers sitting very, very deep, and it's drawing the back row with the zone, and it's creating this 20 to 25 metre gap of sort of no man's land with no defenders, no attackers. You just got to get someone to drop an anchor in that space and just be ready for like an over-the-top shot, a hammer, which we know we can throw. If anything, it draws the attention of the second row of the zone, pulls them back, and allows space for your poppers. But if everyone's just pushing up around the disc, the defense can push up around the disc, and there's just nothing happening. So you need someone to just... It's a sacrificial role. You've just got to park yourself up there. And you can see top left of screen there, Adora's parked himself in that area. And so what it's going to at least do is keep the second row of the zone, have their attention on him, and open up space for the poppers. And
that's the thing with zone offense. You have to coordinate with your teammates, right? Like, you can't both go in at the same time. You can't both stand in the same space at the same time. You just got to do one at a time to keep threatening and keeping your defense accountable.
So it's a 2-3-2 with a... I think they're forcing sideline just to start this and try and get an early turn. Otherwise, they'll typically be forced middle. So shot to the high side there to Tambun. Maehr. And there we go. There's the shot we were talking about. Wow. Don't want to shoot deep yet. Get over halfway, son. Maehr. Tambun making the defenders run. That's how you do it. Adora's there. You can see top left of screen there, just in that space by himself. Maehr on the sideline now.
The poppers are not really moving the cup, but they find that nice over top there. They spot up Adora.
Adora through the middle. Plenty of options there. 1, 2. Couple of hands on it. Chen. Wow. Maehr. We're on the doorstep now. His teammates urging him to take it easy. And is there anything easier than a lefty backhand over the top?
Maehr using his height well there just to pop it up over the cup into the waiting arms of the receiver. So they do finally work it out in terms of this zone D. Like you said, just Adora planting himself in that wide, high side and just allowing the throwers who have the throwing ability over the top of the cup, those hammers and high releases, they're unlocking that cup.
And I think, shout out to Ivana Tambun there, who was the other handler. She trusted her throwers enough to stay on that high side. Sometimes when the disc is static, you can go, I've got to come close to this so they can get it to me. But she's like, no, I'm going to stay camped out here. Because then when they could get it out to her, it forced, another 20 metre back and 20 metre up and back shuttle run from the defence again. So
And it also gave her options, like she could have hit Adora on that
Yep.
far side and get that nice continue over the supposed break side, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, very well done on the positioning, making sure to spread the defence. And, you know, when it's not windy as well, those wide shots are on. Like, you don't have too much wind to affect the flight path.
Yep. So 10-7 the score. Meadowbank, time to consolidate. They've got to, if they can get this break here, we can just about wrap it up, I reckon. So they've gone with a zone look here.
Four in the
Lizards
cup.
have not adjusted. Oh, that was so well set up, but Chris Brown just ran through the gap and took that one. Another high floaty shot.
Outside.
Brown's, yep. So zone doing the job there. Lizards were just not ready to adjust at all for that one. So it'll be Emily Graham to pick it up on the sideline, halfway to goal.
Standard vert stack here. Spread their stack out a bit better this time. The first movement comes from the back of stack.
I was just going to say, keep your eyes on Tiana Jarman this one. She'll work that. I think she's got the match up here. Win. Graham getting up the line. Look. Takes her time though. Lots of activity happening around this front line. And there we go. There's a little quick 1-2 movement from Tsang into Nguyen, and Meadowbank
There's a
gets
travel called, I think.
Travel call does not surprise me at all. That seemed very quick. So Tsang, everyone on the field within about a 15-metre radius at the moment, but somehow Eugene Chen finds space in amongst that traffic. And now Meadowbank have put in their 11th goal to take a 4-goal lead.
Very nice work by Chen, who'd been working so hard in the underspace and feeling really nicely. He's been cycling really well with the handlers despite starting downfield most of the time. A nice little driving celebration from the Meadow bus stop.
So you can see the body language of each team. So Meadowbank, they've sort of got the chins up. They're up and about. Langeles is looking at their shoelaces for answers. There's probably not going to be many there. Of course, looking ahead for each team, they'll be playing back on the field at 2 about straight away. So 10:50 will be the next game. So Langeles will be up against Marlow Street White out of Perth, who are the bottom seed. So we'd expect them to get the game, but then Meadowbank come up against Extinction, another local team, straight away. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them as well.
3 back-to-back to start day one. Yeah, so Lounge Lizards, they have had some very clean offensive holds. Looking for another here.
Paul Lance just inbound, so that'll pin Lounge Lizards to the sideline. Another zone look here. Lounge Lizards again not ready. They're not adjusting. That was always going to happen. Chappell gets that nice, easy collection. He's got a few different looks. Adora, there we go, front corner of the end zone. Another break. Meadowbank well in control now.
Yeah, there's a beautiful intercept there, just read out of the hands. They set up that zone for the force middle and just took that one step when they had shut down everything. The only option was the swing, so that was really well set up by the Meadowbank Cup. They opted for a 3-3-1 this time around, so changing up their zone defensive looks as well, just to put the Lounge Lizards on their back foot.
I'm absolutely baffled as to how Lounge Lizards did not learn from the last point, where the turn happened because they were not ready for a zone and they just didn't adjust. And then they've just done it again. They had a set play lined up to get, I think it was Chris Brown was going to be the sort of middle cutter. And they were just not ready. You can see him pick it up. And then Huggins just looks up.
Just going, no one came back to help.
What is everyone doing?
Yeah, no one came back to help at all, which is why, it had to be that shot. Yeah. There was no other option there, right?
Yep.
So Chappell just did really well to get the steps in front and then throws the assist to Adora, who again just finding some good space. Adora, has an house for it.
It's so the big fellas sometimes do well to find space, but he's done a cracking job of it today. So 12-7 the score. So game point for Meadowbank. If they can put this one in, that'll be it. But Lounge Lizards, they've taken the long shot. Jack Allen's going to be under this one. Lewin has to go up early. Only just misses it. And that's a fantastic shot there from, I think it was Brown who took that one. So Langeles is ready for that one. Had their set play.
Tsang here gets up high with fingertips to it. You can see hands on head. Like, just went up a little bit early there.
And he had to go early. Like, he wasn't going to win just a straight body-on-body one-on-one matchup. So he thought, all right, I have to go for this one and either look amazing or it was inevitable to get scored anyway. So
he says, wipe the footage. I don't want that one on tape. As we get another replay here. Fingertips there. As the Meadowbank bus stop team get around our monitor here in the booth.
But if you're giving up, you can't lose in that situation.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone, that was such an incredible effort, even though he missed it. If he had got it, it would have been play of the day.
Yeah.
You know? He had everything to gain, nothing to lose on that play.
I love the Meadowbank teammates just trying to outdo each other with the highlight reels. We've had some really good highlights, some run-through Ds, some high grabs, some speculative overhead throws. So it's been a bit of a game here on day one at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2.
They cannot get complacent. They still need to maintain the discipline to put this goal in. Don't just hope that the game's just going to come to an inevitable conclusion. Got to play with discipline and make sure of it. The cutters are all way too deep here. They're in trouble. Good match set up here by Lounge Lizards. They waited for everyone to come towards the disc, then took their matchups. Chappell putting in some work. He's on the brick mark now. Cutters are still a long way away from him.
Lots of switching here by the Lounge Lizards defenders, particularly the female matching players.
Yeah, so the male matching players just playing 1v1, and there's the run-through block. Jody Brown had that one set up beautifully there. Seb Brown taking his time. Bahaja has lots of time to look upfield, puts a wide ranging backhand into the lap of Benfield for her first goal. And Meadowbank just got complacent there. They set everything up. Like, their first setup was about 30 metres away, and it just meant that there was 6 defenders between the throw and the first cutter, and they were just all at sea.
It was basically the flip side of what happened on the point before, right? The Lounge Lizards, the offense just way too far away, and this time Meadowbank just caught sleeping here.
And they just did not adjust. They had all the time in the world to adjust, and just didn't happen. They thought, we can just push our way through this, and it's just like, no, against a team like Leinsters, you're not going to do that. You have to adjust.
Bit of relief here as the cloud goes over the sun, so some bit of a breeze as well for the players to cool down on the sideline, but Lounge Lizards, they're going to have to try and turn the heat up on this Meadowbank team.
So we're not going to run out of time. Lounge Lizards, like 3 goals it's a cent. I'm going to say it's not even a sniff. It's
a game to 13 though, Simon.
Yeah, but there's enough time. What I'm saying, there's enough time for Lounge Lizards to put 4 on the board, and within 3 goals is like
touchable.
Like another break here would make Meadowbank nervous for sure, and we've got enough players with runs on the board for Lounge Lizards to be able to go, we can definitely run over this team. So again, this is going to come down to offensive discipline. Graham Conway to Eden Conway. Cutting away from me, looks to lean back and unleash the forehand, but holsters it. Conway sort of unguarded at the moment, so they can easily get it to her. Nice, too low on that backhand. Again, great defensive pressure on the mark there from Jack Allen,
and the female matching defenders, they were clogging up the lane and the break side upfield, which forced them to go side, and then just causes that miscue on the throw.
Bo taking his time to walk to the disc. Keep with the first look. Low side to Burnside. Allen, 10 from goal, centre field. Best place you could have it. Inside break shot to Mel Dodd, 10-12. And
we have a game.
This scent has turned into a sniff. And one more break turns it into a taste.
So Lounge Lizards, as you say, just showing their experience and composure here, deflating the Meadowbank confidence. And we know the difference sometimes between the more experienced teams and the up-and-coming teams in Division 2 tournaments are the ability to sustain that consistency, right? The energy consistently throughout the whole game, the mental focus throughout the whole game. You know, this is Meadowbank's first tournament Div 2 Nats. This is a learning experience for them, and they've had some really amazing highs and highlights already on the stream. Can they try and peg one back? And you see their leaders there, and Emily Graham just trying to get everyone on the same page, say, hey, we got this in the bag, let's just play our game, 100% options.
So this is the point where you'd go high risk. You would take the shot to end the game. If you retreat into your shell now, Lange Lizards will jump on that and lift their defensive pressure. You can go back into your shell. It can very quickly turn against you. So with basically two in the bag at the moment, so you've basically got another couple of shots at winning the game. This is the one where you set up a long play to take the shot, and for that reason I wouldn't be surprised to see a zone look here from Lange Lizards.
It's a long pull. Is it going to stay in? Ooh, out the back only just so. This is a let off completely. Meadowbank, they get to start it from the brick mark.
Free 40 minutes of field position. So
and they've got 4 in the backfield. Oh no, so they've got horizontal set, but I think they're isolating.
Cover loop. That'll be the target. You can see him just at the, on the wide shot. You can see him second from the bottom there. Off, he's gone deep. Well covered by Lange Lizards. Huey Adora's put pretty loose on that one, and then foul call there. Arms got tangled.
That was a bit of a lucky let-off, I think. The throw definitely wasn't as Adora wanted. Oh, it was a deflection, actually. I think there was a hand block there by Tyson Bihaja.
So the call accepted there. Adora this time keeps the throw flatter. Cutters all over the place now. They're starting to close in on the disc. They need a let-out pass here. Who's going to be that cutter? We can see Chapel isolated one-on-one. Well read there by Kyle Hunter. Bihaja shapes up for the hammer. No one cuts for it. Instead, he goes in looking for Chris Brown. And Lange has put that one on the board. So Meadowbank just felt the nerves there. The cutters, they set up well, they started well. As we see here on the restart. Bihaja, he could have just taken the shot, but he thought, no, I'll shape up. I'll just make sure everyone's ready. We've got lots of space open. So took his time there, but
you can feel the nerves from the Meadowbank team. It's interesting because they didn't have their usual call handler set on the line at all. I think they're going to load up this line here to try and get the win because you saw Adora back. I think Chapel had to come back a couple of times who aren't as confident in that backfield, and the dump sets just weren't coming for that release, which causes high stall counts and some dodgy throws.
I think the plan was to play a Lau downfield as an isolated cutter because then if he got it, he's the one that can take the shot, but he just didn't get open.
Yep.
And I think he just sort of thought it was going to happen. He just tried to beat his defender in a foot race. And then, again, we saw all the cutters just collapse on the disc. And Langeless is just, they didn't collapse with him. They just thought they're going to have to push a throw here. And so I'm just going to sit back, wait for that loose throw, and then bang. I think it was Kyle Hunter at the end who was just able to reach out and get it. So Meadowbank.
Yeah. I think they closed down the open side option because Meadowbank have been doing so well just to get open on that open side, but Lantis has actually kind of crept into the open side space, forced them to throw to the break side and force the error.
Yeah. So you're right. They've loaded up this line with the throwers. We've got Nguyen, we've got Cheng, we've got Graham, we've got Chen. Good pull there by Lange Lizards. Graham takes the catch. Cheng.
So again, lots of switching by the female matching players here.
Yeah, they're wary with the deep shot. You can see Mullen bottom left to screen. She's just hanging out in that deep space. Everyone's really close here. Chang. They need to get everyone to come under. There's a high shot there. That's Jarman's out in that open space on her own to win. Takes a big shot. Looking for Chen. Chen's found some space. Up he gets. This time he's read it beautifully. He got the jump on his defender. He got open. And that was that let-out pass that they've just needed to get out. And with that, they've secured their first win, 13-11 over Lounge Lizards. And what a comeback there from Lounge Lizards. They knew that at some point they just kept maintaining that pressure, they didn't give up on the game. That can do things to a young team. That can sort of make them think themselves, make them second guess, and opportunities open up.
Yeah, Meadowbank not being deterred. They went for those long shots here, and Chen, fantastic target. That's 2 goals and 1 assist, and some big defensive plays as well. So Eugen, an absolute star of this Meadowbank team. First Australian Mixed Ultimate Championship game for them, and a win on the board. What a way to start.
And so that's our first game done and dusted. So Ulti TV here. I'd like to thank the City of Logan for their support for this tournament. They put on a fantastic show here. Fantastic weather too, Avril, if you don't mind. And obviously thanks to Australian Flying Disc Association for their support, bringing you this stream free of charge, so you can watch plenty of Ultimate all weekend. So this is one game of 15 you'll see live and free this weekend. And next game, probably about half an hour away.
Yeah, 10:50 local time. We've got Swoo Bambush versus Marley Street Red. Make sure you stay tuned.
Ulti.tv